this big, extraordinary, historic circumstance that faces all of humanity. Here we have a cameo, and it's not good enough for the Minister for Water and Climate Change to say, who comes from this state, to say, I don't think the water's there, I don't think we can save, effectively, the Coorong. And it's not good enough for the Prime Minister to echo that. And it's not good enough for the Premier of this state to say that it is roll gold foolery to think that the rescue of the Coorong is still on the table. Now, the balance of power comes to the Senate as of next Tuesday again, after 3 years of a domination of the Senate by the then government. We Greens are small in number in the Parliament. There's 5 of us out of 244 parliamentarians. But we've been talking with your other independent new senator, Nick Xenophon, and on Tuesday, the first day back, the first time for years in which the balance of power has gone back to the Senate due to the voters of Australia, we will table a motion to be voted on the next day to urgently assess that water situation for the whole of the Murray-Darling Basin. And I've been talking to people who know much more about me than this on this issue. And I'm surprised to know that there are large water holdings which you cannot get the data on in the basin. If anybody here knows how much water is being held by the Snowy Mountains Authority on the Alps at the top of the Murray River, please let me know. But the Senate is a very powerful entity in our democracy. It has equal powers in all things except creating money bills, because that's how it was created 108 years ago, 109 years ago. And we are able, through the committee system in the Senate, to discover that information. I know the Prime Minister has said he's got an independent review taking place of what water is available. Let me say this. The government says the water's not available. We believe it is. And this is not just taking the idea out of the atmosphere. This is on the testing of people who have been working in this area for years, scientists who have the best information available. That is now about to be tested by the Senate, which has the power to get the information which ordinary citizens, scientific organisations, and maybe even Prime Minister appointed independent authorities don't have. And provided one or other of the major parties, and I can't see that either of them would stand in the way of this information getting exercised, a vote for this motion on Wednesday, we will be on the way to finding out whether it's true the water is not available. We believe it is. We will know within weeks whether that's the case. And then, of course, we recognise from the scientists that water has to be mobilised. The other task is, if the water's there, is it able to be mobilised? And if so, how much will it cost? And the quicker we can act on, get this information, the quicker we can say to the government, and by the way, we'll be looking at the powers of the government under the Constitution here, to bring that water down the river to give the Coorong the drink it needs, and to look at the human needs along the way.